Everyone thinks more money makes life easier. But what if every new level of wealth comes with a hidden emotional tax? What if the stress never disappears? It just changes shape. At $0, you worry about survival. At $100,000, you worry about choices. At $1 million, you worry about maintaining what you've built. At $10 million, you start questioning purpose, identity, and meaning. Today, we're breaking down the emotional cost of every wealth tier, and by the end, you might completely rethink the level you're chasing. Let's start at 0. Level 1, $0 or a negative net worth. Survival mode. You wake up and check your phone before your feet hit the floor. Did the payment clear? Did overdraft hit? Did something bounce overnight? Your day doesn't start with ambition. It starts with damage control. At this level, money isn't a number. It's noise. Every small inconvenience feels catastrophic. A tire blows, a bill arrives early, a shift gets cut, and suddenly the entire month collapses. The emotional cost here is amplified bad luck. When you live at $0, you have no margin. Life feels like playing a video game on ultra-hard mode with no armor. You don't think about investing. You think about Friday. You don't think about retirement. You think about gas. And here's what most people misunderstand. It's not laziness. It's bandwidth. When survival consumes your mental energy, there's nothing left for strategy. But once you move slightly above 0, the pressure doesn't disappear. It mutates. Level 2, $10,000 to $100,000. Stability anxiety. Now you have something. Maybe $25,000 saved. Maybe $60,000 net worth. You can breathe, but only slightly. Because now a new fear appears. What if I fall back? You check your investment app. You watch financial YouTube. You calculate what 8% returns would do over 20 years. You start comparing yourself. Friends buying homes, colleagues getting promotions, screenshots of crypto gains. The emotional cost here is comparison. You're not panicked anymore. You're impatient. You feel late. You feel behind. You obsess over investing $1,000 when increasing income would move you faster. But emotionally, this level feels fragile. Momentum feels dangerous to lose. And here's where it gets interesting. When you cross 6 figures, something shifts again. The fear becomes heavier. Because now you can't blame circumstance. Level 3, $100,000 to $1 million. Decision weight. You have real capital now. $200,000, $500,000, maybe $800,000. A 10% gain moves the needle. So does a 10% loss. You start caring about allocation, diversification, interest rates, inflation. You read economic news not for entertainment, but protection. The emotional cost here is responsibility. You chose the investment. You chose the timing. You chose the risk. If it works, it's you. If it fails, it's also you. And something subtle appears. Fear of misplaying your position. You worked hard to get here. You don't want to blow it. Before we move into the millionaire tier, if this breakdown is helping you see wealth differently, consider subscribing. This channel isn't about hype. It's about understanding what money actually does to people. And the next level is the one most people romanticize. Level 4, $1 million to $3 million. Comfort with pressure. You are a millionaire. That word sounds louder than it feels. You don't stress about groceries. You don't check restaurant prices. Travel becomes a decision, not a dream. But here's the emotional shift. Expectation. People assume you're secure. You assume you should feel secure. But when you run the math, you realize something uncomfortable. Saving alone won't get you to $10 million. Even saving $200,000 per year takes decades to multiply significantly. And now you face a fork in the road: coast or scale. Scaling means ownership, equity, bigger bets. The emotional cost here is identity. Are you satisfied? Or are you wired for expansion? Because the next level requires something different, not saving. Leverage. And leverage introduces a new type of stress. Level 5, $3 million to $10 million, time versus ambition. Now you have margin. You could retire early. You could downshift. You could choose peace, but most don't. Because the emotional cost here is ambition. You've tasted leverage. You've seen what ownership can do. Small wins don't excite you anymore. You think in larger numbers. You outsource. Cleaner. Accountant. Advisor. You buy back time. But here's the trade-off. The jump from $5 million to $10 million rarely happens safely. It usually requires a big move, a business exit, a concentrated investment, a liquidity event, and big bets carry pressure. Money solves money problems, but it doesn't solve health, relationships, purpose. And when you cross into 8 figures, the stress doesn't increase, it transforms. Level 6, $10 million plus, leverage and isolation. 8 figures. You're in rare territory now. Income isn't the focus, exposure is. Lawsuits, tax strategies, reputation. The emotional cost here is visibility. People treat you differently. You don't always know if they respect you. Or your balance sheet. You think in millions now. A 5% mistake isn't annoying. It's expensive. You stop chasing small wins. You focus on big decisions. But here's the paradox. The more money you have, the less your problems are solved by money. You can't wire transfer meaning. You can't automate fulfillment. You can't outsource purpose. And this is where many people realize something profound. The ladder never ends. It just changes terrain. Zooming out, the pattern nobody talks about. At $0, bad luck is amplified. At $100,000, decisions are amplified. At $1 million, identity is amplified. At $10 million, leverage is amplified. Low money equals survival stress. Mid money equals performance stress. High money equals responsibility stress. Very high money equals existential stress. And this is the part most people never calculate. The emotional capacity required at each level. Because here's the truth. If your emotional strength doesn't grow with your net worth, the next level feels heavier than the last. If you've made it this far, subscribe. Because we don't just talk about making money here. We talk about surviving success. And there's one final insight that ties this entire ladder together. The hidden rule. Take your net worth. Divide it by 10,000. That's roughly the amount you can lose in a day. Without emotionally reacting. At $10,000 net worth, losing $1 hurts. At $1 million, losing $100 doesn't register. At $10 million, losing $1,000 is background noise. But losing direction, that hurts at every level. And that's the open loop from the beginning. The level you're chasing has a cost you haven't priced in. So the real question isn't, how much money do I want? It's, what kind of emotional pressure am I willing to carry? Because every level comes with a bill. And it's not always paid in dollars. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe. We're just getting started.